bear, which Liz has previously reviewed.
Oh, sure.
And I was very suspicious, even from your review, that I was going to get like anxious about, heightened kitchen energy. And mostly season 1 was really enjoyable, that it was not trying to amp up the bad energy in the kitchen. It was really trying to correct all of that and fix the mistakes. And given that there's this whole backstory and why it's happening and where the passion and drive and the family atmosphere is coming from in the show, I didn't know that going in, which made season 1 a different experience watching, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like frantic restaurant energy, and I was getting more of like a family-oriented story, but with some food porn. If there ever be some food porn, even if it's the sandwiches that they're making, I wanted one of those damn sandwiches from the beef.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Chicago beef sandwich. So you've watched the second season as well?
Almost all the second season, and there is just a bevy of extra stars in this season.
Oh, like guest stars, you mean?
There's less concentration on the problem from season 1, which was this restaurant quagmire. And even though all the character development outside of that and inside of that is still utilized in this season, we know that they're moving forward. They're moving on from the beef. So I kind of I paused in the first halfway through the first episode of season 2, and I said, all right, Lip from Shameless. I watched almost all of Shameless. Please don't fall in love and screw another career up. I'm tired of that character arc for you. Lip is the character that Jeremy Allen White plays from Shameless. If you haven't watched Shameless, it is available on Netflix. It's a fantastic watch. It is pretty shameless in what it approaches and does, so be prepared for all sorts of stuff. But I really enjoyed his character, so I was like, I had a savor watch where I was going to watch The Bear, and then you reviewed it, and now I'm a little off on that. I'll wait till there's more to watch, and I'm glad that I waited for the second season to drop, because each episode so far has had an opportunity to expand their entire character. From the first season, where you only got an amuse-bouche of the characters, you didn't get quite a full meal. You kind of do really get a really good sense of what that character is going to play in the story now. Because before it was this mangled family that you were trying to figure out. And so if you don't want to keep that going, which they don't, you do have to give everybody some space. So at the top of the series, season 2, I'm like, all right, don't mess your whole situation up with the relationship, dude. And everybody else, I want to get to know you a little bit. You got to rock star it out somehow. So you're going to give me a couple one-off episodes. But would you please open the restaurant? I want to see you fail immediately and then figure it out. They didn't. I wanted them to. I paused at the beginning of the season, and I wished that they had burned through the build, which, fine, they're taking the whole season to do the build and open the restaurant. I wanted to get back to the restaurant. Unfortunately for me, I got confused, and I thought the name of the show was The Beef, like beef on Netflix, and I was excited about the restaurant part of it. It's the bear, and that is the main character, the bear, although technically all the family members. So, okay, I kind of had to wait through this whole season of them making a restaurant. You had a restaurant last season. That's all right.
Yeah, but it's really, if you go to the first season, it's about Carmy coming back to his family's business that was run by his brother who has died. Mm-hmm. And he's going to try to salvage it and save it. And man, it is just it does not seem hopeful. But there is something that happens, and we don't want to do spoiler, because if you decide to start watching it, there's something that happens that sort of sets them in another direction. And now Carmen is able to do maybe the restaurant of his dreams or his vision. So he needs to shut down the family business, the beef, and rebuild it from the ground up. And having worked in a couple food industry related jobs, I was shocked. How much is this going to cost you for in a shitty neighborhood in Chicago for basically a hole in the wall? What? You had a functioning restaurant, but they are scrapping basically all of it, and how long they project it's going to take. But then I remember I stopped at episode 2, and I said to my husband, I go, they have to cut the build time way down, just because they will have no money if they take 6+ months to build this restaurant. So they start moving things along. And listen, Oliver Platt, I think, was in the second episode. Uncle Jimmy. I just love Oliver Platt. So
I'm a big fan of his. Sure.
There are so many good characters, although Cousin Richie drives me insane. This is where
he's a fucking amazing actor, because
that's
in
fine.
Andor also drove me fucking insane. I love that guy now because I know that he could drive someone insane.
But I will say, in today's times, with all the self-help and get toxic people out of your life, I cannot believe they didn't fucking cut him because he's actually not even blood. I mean, as a viewer, you're just like, oh my God, you are more of a hindrance than help. So I cannot believe you were not anxious watching last season. This season, episode 1, I stopped midway through. I said to my husband, I go, nope, not in the mood for this. Because it was just like, just the frantic pace. I was like, nope, Then not so late at night, a little more refreshed, picked it back up, and now we're basically halfway through the season. And I think it has actually it's more than the 8 typical for a second season. So they're really giving it a long lead.
Yeah, it's a full 10 episodes. A full 10. That sounds ridiculous to say. I've been alive long enough that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, full 10.
A full 10.
Mm-hmm. On streaming, I mean, that's a full order.
That's a good order,
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And we got a 10 top. So I have no complaints.
And I will say, watching it, you were like, how is a finer... He said something that was so classic. Him and his basically partner, the other head chef, opposite Carmy, Sydney. The line chef that is going to get promoted to sous chef, hopefully. She's the one that wants a star. She wants a star.
Yes.
Very ambitious.
Just one.
Very talented. We're trying to decide what is the vision of the new place going to be. It was so many catchphrases. I was like, oh my God, that is such a restaurant language of what the fuck are you talking about? It's going to be contemporary, but sexy, but not simple. We're going to keep it streamlined, but we're going to amp it up. It was oh my God.
What does any of that mean?
We
And of course,
wanted to be modern,
yes,
but
yes.
we also wanted to be classic.
Yeah, we got, yep, sounds good. So just the whole world. And then Ed said, there's all this family dynamic underbelly always going on too. So it's great character development. You root for them, but you just, this neighborhood, you're going to put all this money in this neighborhood that was used to a Chicago beef sandwich place.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll say this, and I'm going to try to say this without spoiling anything, because I know that you haven't gotten this far in season 2. There are some fantastic episodes in season 2 that are so much less about a restaurant plot line. There's an expectation where you're going to get back to the restaurant and the stuff that's going on with that and the characters that are happening. And there's 80% of this one particular episode that I'm thinking of, Honeydew, that is not spent there. And you get to really pay attention to a specific storyline for one particular character. And they do that a couple times throughout the season. And again, not trying to ruin anything.
Was that when they went to Uncle Jimmy's last season, season 1, when they basically had to cater the kid's birthday party? So it was out of the restaurant and they're forced to this kid's birthday party and they basically get all the kids drunk. It is so good. It's so good.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So between Honeydew, which was an excellent vignette almost episode, and they gave you plenty of the actual plot line that you need, but there was so much of this episode was that particular character. But then there's 2 episodes later. I'm not going to say that I was blown away by this episode, but I wasn't expecting it in this season from where we left in season 1. I wasn't expecting them to give you this much backstory. And that's about all I'll say about it. Fishes is an excellent episode. I don't get too emotional about these shows where I'm not going to really connect to a character too seriously, but how that episode explains enough made me almost want to take the show apart and put it back together in order so I could understand from how you're telling me I was paying attention to these characters. I haven't paid attention to enough because there was more information about them there. And that's always great when they give you a throwback episode that really informs what's happening with the characters right now. And those are all the tasty morsels I brought to the podcast today.